This conference will now be recorded.
Hello everyone. Mm, we'll give a minute or two, and then we'll probably start. Okay. Okay, guys. Good evening. Uh, so on yesterday's class, I just give a quick recap for those who didn't join, who couldn't join. So yesterday we just learned how to create a workspace in Tosca. There are two type of workspace: uh, single user workspace and the multi-user workspace. We saw, and then we saw the whole look and feel of Tosca. There are different sections in Tosca, right? uh, what's the use of it, how do you check in, how do you check out, what's the use of update all. Okay. Any questions on that? Maybe if someone wants to know more, and I can just give a quick demo on the same, or maybe we'll start with a new topic then in that case. Okay then, chalo, we'll start with a new topic. I'll share my screen. Maybe we'll see what are modules basically from the scratch. That's very basic. The first thing, first foremost, is modules. I'll share my screen. Maybe I'll please let me know if you're able to see my screen. It's visible.
Yes, Arjun.
Okay, fine. Okay, so before we start this whole module section or anything, just want to tell more about Tosca. I mean, to understand more on this functionality, right? Let's assume I'll give a very simple analogy that what Tosca is. Okay, if you know how this whole factory system works, right? The factory systems in your in proper towns and all. It's Tosca is basically is a factory. Okay, it's a factory of automated test. Okay, and what happens in a factory? You basically first thing is you define a blueprint. Okay, and then you prepare or you acquire the raw data or raw materials. Okay, and then you start to build the products, maybe with the hands. Maybe once you procure the products, you join them, or create a rough or a small product of it, and then maybe after that you use a machine to maybe pack this up. Okay, to pack this or completely execute this. Okay, end product. And at the end, before that, you just maybe do a quality check just to make sure, just to ensure that everything is fine. Okay, the same thing happens in whole testing life cycle as well as in automation. Okay, first thing is you use a blueprint which is called modules here. Okay, you need a modules which will create a basic blueprint of how your whole product would look like. Okay, based on this, everything will proceed further. Then you use something called TCD, which is not over here. Maybe I'll show you. Okay, this is something called TCD. If you see this test case design, I'll just add it over here. This basically is your procurement of data. You can create data over here. You can use TCD to create data. There are two ways to create data. One is static data and one is dynamic. For now, we'll for a few days we'll go with static data, which is being used mostly by the companies, and then further on, once we get a hands on the tool, once we start creating one or two, three test cases or on different application, then we'll go with dynamic data, which is called TDS, test data service. Okay, but just for now, just TCD is called test case design. Okay, abbreviation is test case design. This is all. This is used for prepare your data. Okay, and then you build your product based on this module. This is like the blueprint. Based on this module, you take this module, you drag them and drop it in your test cases. Okay, just drag and drop it to your test cases. Assuming I'll maybe this is not checked out. Once you drop it over here, it will automatically. Maybe I'll just create, show you rather. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just probably drag. This is a module, as I told you, it's a blueprint. Okay, I will drag any one of them. I'll use very easy one. I'll take this buffer, drag it, and drop it over here. So before drag and drop, I'll tell you later on why how the structure should be and where can you drag it. This is called test case. Okay, drag this and drop it over here. Okay, this is drag and drop. Now you come, this is your building your product. You are basically building your product over this in this test case phase. What you use, what you have used module here, module from here, you drag and drop in test case, and then here you can use TCD. If you need data, you can use TCD to create your data over here. You can use data over here, or you can just put your value. Okay, it's on you whether you need data or not. If you don't need static data, you can use any functions or write by statically. If I just want to know my name, I'll just write my name. Okay, I'll just do this. Okay, that's done. And after that, you just right click and run in Scratchbook. Run in Scratch is basically you're executing in a rough. It's like when you do when your exams, right, we used to do in such a way that we used to create a separate section on the rightmost corner just for the rough work. Okay, this is the same way. We are just doing a rough scan. Okay, just to see if it is working fine or not. I just ran it. It'll take few couple of seconds, and then you saw it got passed. So I'll tell you what exactly I'm doing over here. So this is ran. Okay, this has been ran. You can see the green over here. Okay, it means execution is done. For now, just focus on this part, module test case. Okay, just do these two. Execution list and all will go further. That's a very high or high end complex, not complex, high end thing. First, we'll focus on only these two, modules and test case. So let's focus on modules first. Okay, then we will see what we have done over here, right? We created new folder and we added this, right click and added this. We'll see what exactly these are. There's a meaning of every single icons over here. There's a different meaning to it. Why do we add this? So we'll see that. First, let's go with the very basic structure called modules. Okay, so uh, so this whole Tricentis TOSCA, right? This whole TOSCA, it basically what it wants you to do, it wants you to do and how to do it. It will tell you. Basically, you should tell Tricentis TOSCA what you want to do and how to do it. Okay, got it? So you are the main architect of this. You will trust in Tosca what you want to do and how to do it. Okay, for this, you will just use three elements as I told you, scanning. Okay, this module scanning is basically based on the module. Once you scan, you create a module. These are called standard modules, basically a generic module which has already been given to you. And the third one is test case. Just remember these three things, very important. First is scanning, that is generic scanning, which you do scanning. If you don't scan, if you want to use a standard module, after scanning you basically get a module. Okay, if you are not scanning, you can use a generic module which is already existing. These are called module. That is the second part, module, and the third one is test case. Based on these three, the whole Tricentis Tosca works. Rest everything is the extension of it. Extension in the sense where the client needs a report, so basically you run those test cases in execution list. Okay, you use reporting for reports, but basic building block of this whole Tricentis Tosca is module and test case. Okay, after that everything goes further and the next whatever topics are there. Okay, these are even not important. I'll just remove this requirement and all for now. Just keep to these two, just stick to modules and test case. So first thing is scanning, second in modules, third is test case. If you understand these three, your half of your automation, I think you would know almost half of your automation. Okay, now what is scanning? First thing, scanning is basically when your system under test or your application which you're working on, maybe assume this demo web shop. Okay, the demo workshop is my application. In other world, in the testing world, we call it as system under test or SUT. Maybe if I can write it somewhere. So any application which you're working on, right? Application which you're working on is basically called SUT, and the abbreviation of it is system under test. Okay, just understand this. So your system under test, right? This application has various elements, okay, because you need these elements to perform your actions. First is register, okay, then login, shopping cart. Once you add the data, it will go to, once you add your items, it will go to shopping cart and everything. These are called the elements, and these are interactive elements. Based on these interactive elements, Tosca, when you try to scan it, our Tricentis Tosca will try to interact with these elements. Okay, for instance, this is a text field. It's one element. It's a button basically. If you click, because you click on it, right? Once you click on it, it will give something out of your function. So it's called button. It's one interactive element. This text field, text field. These are links basically. If you right click on inspect, I'll show you that these are links. These are also an interactive elements. There are different type of interactive elements. These are drop down. If you see, this is a drop down. It's again an interactive element. Okay, we'll explore different type of interactive elements and how do you use them first. Okay, now then, and these elements are also called as controls. Okay, we call as interactive elements, or more technical word is these are controls. Okay, ultimately you want your Tosca to steer these controls. Okay, for instance, clicking on a button and verify data in this field, or maybe in this field, it's basically is a or maybe verify data what is present in the first under category first section. What is the data over here? I want to know what is the first category it is listing over here. Okay, if you say this is not sorted based on nomenclature, right? Apparel should be coming first, or book. So maybe someone want to know how the categories are listed, how are they sorted out. Okay, so for that, to verify this, I just maybe use some methods in Tosca. I'll verify what is the first thing. Yeah, I'll store this value, it is books. Okay, so verify this. These are again a controls to verify data in this, and it might be a table or a cell. We'll understand what are those things. So you want Tosca to steer these controls. That's the first thing. Okay, and now what are modules? Okay, so as I told you, modules are building. Once you scan this, you basically create a module, something like this. If you see over here, this is a module. Okay, this is a module. These are the generic module which was created and given to you by the Tricentis Oscar. They have their own functionality. And how to understand what are these used for? Maybe by the name you can easily understand. It is saying T-box take screenshot, which means you want to take screenshot using this. Okay, but to understand more briefly on it, what you do is you just go. Okay, before that I'll tell you there are two type of automation. There is one called T-box automation, T-box engines. Okay, these are all T-box engine, everything under T-box. Okay, it is based on C sharp, which they have written. These are relatively very fast. There used to be something else before Tosca. It is used to called as classic engines, which is not used anymore. They have deprecated this classic engine, whole classic engines. They used to be very small, very slower in speed. After that, Tosca brought this whole T-box concept. Okay, these are called T-box engines, which are relatively faster. Okay, so these are T-box, and there's something called T engines. Okay, these engines are very specifically built for different functionality, like for HTML scans. Okay, or maybe file scan. Files in the sense your Excel, not Excel file, maybe your PDF file or some Notepad text file. Okay, or maybe you have JSON content file in a JSON format or XML format. You save those content in a file and then you verify the data over there. There's an XML different module for XML for JSON. You can see that there are so many different meanings to it. It's like create JSON resource. It will at the right side there's a description column says create a JSON resource with an empty content. Then the second one is read a JSON file and loads into a resource. If you want to know more deep inside, if you expand it, you will see there are two things under this, right? These are called attributes. I'll tell you what are attributes. You have description under this as well. These are called ID of resource. Okay, so it'll give you a more expansion of your modules. And how to get this? Assuming if you don't have this, what you can do is I can just remove this. Okay, so usually how your modules would look like, it will look something like this. If you get, once you import Tosca, if you import your modules, yesterday we saw, right, how to import these modules. It will look something like this. It will have image, technical ID, type info description, and value ranges. Okay, and if you want to know more, first thing is you should know what exactly this module is about. For that case, you come here on the header. This is the header, right? This is the header, so your name, image. Just right click over here, click on column chooser. After column chooser, it will give you different type of columns which you can add over here. The most important one here is just for your understanding. To understand what this module is all about, you click on description. Okay, double click on description. You'll see the description gets added over in this whole column. This is as a new column, and this basically describes everything about it. Okay, this T-box screenshot is one module. Okay, it says saves a screenshot of the current screen of the to the specified path. And under this, under module, whatever you see, right, you might see a difference in the icons. The image is a little different over here and this one. So this is called module. Just understand it. Once you start practicing, you will understand what is the difference between these. But this is called module, and what the below ones are called as module attributes. Okay, write it for you. So under module, so something with a parent, I'll tell you the whole tree, how it tree looks like. First is module folder. Okay, and how this module folder looks like. Sorry. This module folder looks like this. If you see here, this basic window operation, this is module folder. Okay, this one module folder can have multiple modules inside it. Okay, as I create a basic window operation, I have different set of modules. There are somewhere around 8 different modules in it. Okay, you can have n number of modules in it. So that's how the structure goes on. There's one module folder. Okay, under module folder, you create modules, and I'll mention n number of modules. Okay, and under modules, what do you have? You have these things, these icons. These are called module attributes. Okay, just for your understanding. Okay, just focus on these three icons. The first one here, this looks like a folder, like the way you have files, folder sections here, right, in your C drive and all. See, something similar to it. That's like no sleep. Okay, this is similar to that. So it's a folder. Under that, this is called module, and under that, with different icon, it's all module attribute. Okay, similarly, you can have n number of module attributes in one module. Any question on this? Okay,
What is the difference between the engine and the module?
the engines and the module. Okay, so the engines are very specifically built for specific purpose. Okay, they are built on for different type of application. If you see, if you can see, it is totally mentioned. It is for PDF. This whole PDF. This is basically a self. It is a earlier built by TOSCA. I mean, Transcendentist people, they have built this thing. This TOSCA automation tool on normal T-box engines are basically your operations which you can operate. It is not very specific to your UI. Okay, there's a buffer operation. It what basically means is how do you store a value in a variable? Okay, you can do it on UI, on desktop, or any other platform. Okay, or you can just run it over. Just few minutes back, I just created one buffer over here, right? It basically means I'm just running it. It's for normal. It is not interacting with any UI element. I'm just giving my name as Arjun, and it is saving somewhere. Okay, it is saving in a variable. Okay, these are like the normal operations, but these engines are built very specifically for this particular uh, platforms, right? Like HTML for files, for XML, for JSONs. These are engines basically for email. It's basically for Outlook emails or your Gmails for different engines. These are basically specifically built for this particular operations of this particular platforms. For mobile testing, you use this particular modules. For Excel, you use this. Correct? For SAP, this is whole set of modules already created. These are classes. Okay, so engines are very specific for different set of platform. These are T-box automation tool modules basically for to perform operations anywhere. It is not very specific to any engine. This particular assuming T-box screenshot, right? This is very specific. You want to take screenshot after every page, maybe after SAP, after SAP performer, or maybe after Salesforce you do something, or maybe after doing something on API or Excel, you want to take screenshot. This is very generic. This is applied everywhere. It can be applied anywhere. This is called T-box clipboard. Clipboard is basically you once you do Control C, your value would be stored in a clipboard, right? You can copy data in SAP as well, Salesforce as well, or normal Excel file or a notepad file, right? So this is very specific, very generic to every platform. but these engines are very specific to their platform, which is provided over here. Got it?
Arjun, you want to say like these are interfaces like so based upon interface we will use this engine
Y- yes, exactly. So
for
see, they
Excel.
are for
Uh,
Excel. See, for Excel, you don't need basically interface. Okay, this basically works as an
okay.
Excel itself. Okay, in the background, it doesn't open Excel for you. All you need to do is you need to
Okay.
provide the workbook name or the Excel name or the path of Excel. You can see right directly in where the file is located.
Yes.
Okay, if you want to create unique file, just provide the path. It will run in the backend. And once you come back in your folder location, the location where you're given the path, you will see the Excel would be created. Okay, for this thing, it will run in background. There are two, three things which will run in background, like database, which you will not see the interface on your screen. For APIs and for Excel, these runs in background. For rest all, it will automatically open. Maybe Excel and JSON as well, because this is regular file operations. All the file operations run in background. But for everything else, like mail, mobile, SAP, this will automatically host. I mean, it will open in your system. There's something called host as well. I'm not sure whether you heard of this. Host basically is for remote controls like Putty. Have you heard of Putty? Putty is basically an engine wherein you log into a server. It's a Unix system or a Linux system wherein. So for those systems, you use basically click keys over there. Okay, you just need keys. I mean, CD, go to this particular location, dot to go back to a different folder. So these are interfaces, as you said, right? These are interfaces very specific to that engines. Okay, but this T-box automation tool is very specific to. It is very generic and can be used anywhere. These whole operations can be used in SAP as well. After performing this operation, maybe you can go back and use this. But in UI, you cannot use SAP control, right? It is of no use because you are trying to find this particular login client. If you see here, but you are not able to use it in a UI page. Understood? Or maybe you want me to explain it in a different way or something?
Understood. Arjun.
Okay. Okay, so where were we? So we just saw, as I told, right? There are three things in whole module section. First thing is you have a folder. Under folder, you basically can have n number of folders. Just remember this: folders can have a number of folders. Under folder, you can have n number of modules. Under modules, you can have n number of module attributes. Okay, just maybe you can understand by this module folder. Under module folder, you can have n number of modules. Under modules, you can have n number of module attributes. And now we'll understand what are these individually, what are modules, module attributes, what are the difference between these. Okay, so if I come back over here. Mhm. So we will let.
Hi, Arjun.
Yeah,
Uh,
yes.
you said about the engine side. That
Mhm.
engine is also one of the module. Am I right?
Yes, it is one of the module. It is predefined
Yeah.
module given by Tricenters.
Okay. I mean, it is comes under the standard modules. That engines,
Yes,
T-box, automation tools,
yes, these all three are
all
standard
are
module.
modules.
Standard
Modules.
modules, yeah, which
Okay.
you have not created. This is
So
given by the
whatever
Tricenter.
is coming
Mhm. Mhm.
inside the engines are that engines module attributes. Am I right?
Attribute, yeah. See, it doesn't matter. You just need to know what are
Yeah.
modules. Don't worry about what are different engine module. Once you have started using Excel or JSON, right? Then you can, if someone asks you in an interview, how do you create a JSON file? Then you can say that I can use JSON, create JSON resource module. Okay, then he'll ask you where exactly you'll get it. Then and you can say it is a predefined Excel module. Okay, only in that cases you need to understand what are diff engine modules and all. But I specifically never term it like way that key it's an engine module, it's a different T-box automation module. You just say it's a module. It is classified in under engine because it is used in a very specific use cases, only for XMLs, only for JSON, for mails, mobile. Okay, these very specifics. These are again a module, same module, but it can be used anywhere, no matter which operation, which in engine, I mean which platform you are working on, you can still use all of them. This will come, these are the most important ones. This will you will use every time, most of the times. Got it? All are engines, these all are modules only. But
Yeah.
before that, maybe if you missed, do you know how does these modules come from? Where does it module come from? Maybe once we start installing whole Tosca, you'll get a better idea how this modules comes into picture. These are default module which will come after you install Tosca, but I'll just show you. uh, Once you install Tosca, you have to go to C drive, where you will see one something called Tosca project program files, Tricentis, Tosca test suite. Okay, these are called T-box. Okay, there you will get a standard module. I need to find standard TSU here. Okay, basically this is where once you install it, your all the files will get saved here. Okay, from here you will automatically import it here from here. And if I maybe I'll just take 2 minutes just to show you where does, because that's one I think maybe you missed yesterday's class, so I'll show you. Assuming you are creating a new workspace, okay, assume I click on okay, it got closed. So once you are clicking on a create a new workspace, okay, once you create a new workspace, you can see there's one option called use workspace template. Don't worry about this. Maybe I just showed it yesterday, this whole workspace creation. But once we start installing Tosca in your systems, we will see it again. But for your understanding, I'll tell you where exactly the standard modules come from. It comes from this option, use workspace template. Once you check this, it will automatically import standard or TSU file. And if you want to find the location, you just copy this, paste it here. Okay, commander. Okay, so if you see, this is our standard.tsu file. This is automatically get imported once you click on this checkbox. Okay, once you click on checkbox and click on OK, a workspace get created, and this file standard.tsu file gets imported to your workspace. That's how it works. Got it? Where does this TSU file comes from? This is very generic, which is given by Tricentis. Rest all we have to create by our own. Okay, but these the one which they have given to us is very important. It's been used almost everywhere. In every test case, you need this. Okay, so you need to have understanding on how these engines work, and you can always click on these modules and see in the description what exactly these each module do. Okay, it says tbox saves as, what is save as? If you expand it, and you can see. Okay, so it is basically saving as is assuming you once you click on okay, maybe I'll show you. Right click, and if I do save link as, okay, it will basically open a window, right? This is called save as dialog box. Okay, so to operate, this is a desktop application. This is not a UI. Okay, this is not built on HTML or Java, right? Maybe Java, not on HTML. So how do you interact with this? You cannot use normal. The Selenium cannot handle this particular thing. Okay, they need a third-party tool to handle this. So in that case, what you do is you can use this tbox save as module. This is built only to handle this kind of, it might be open as or save as, anything. You can just need handle this. You can use this engine. It will give you need to give caption name. Caption name is basically this save as. Okay, it will, so then it will understand there's something save as dialog box which is already open, and I need to operate on this based on this engine. Okay, so these are very generic ones which they again which you'll use daily on day-to-day time. For now, okay, got it. So maybe we'll move forward and start scripting something. Um, okay. Okay, fine. So let's talk about model and module attributes we were talking about, right? This is more as we understood that model module folder module, and then inside that module attributes. Okay, so these are generic ones. Let's create our own. To create our own, you should make sure that you have access to this folder. Okay, and how do you get access to it? You need to check out this folder. Right click. You can see there are two options: checkout and checkout tree. Yesterday we talked about this. I'll just reiterate it again. Checkout is basically you will just have control on the current folder which you're on. So you are on module folder. Once you click on this, you will have control only on this folder. You cannot do anything under anything on standard modules. Okay, but if you click on if you click on this checkout tree, you will check out, or maybe you'll have authorization to all the folders below this. Okay, this is a parent folder. If you check out tree, everything which comes under this parent folder, you'll have control on it. Okay, so I'll click on checkout first just to show you. If you see, there's a green icon over here, but there's no icon on the right, on the left side of this. So basically this is not, you cannot do anything, you cannot modify, or you cannot create anything. Okay, just for example, if I just right click on this random module, you can see these icons, right? And these icons will differ from what you will see if I right click on modules over here. You can see there are different set of icons from here and here, because you don't see options of creating different set of things. Okay, but you can see out here. You can see here create folder structure. Okay, create virtual folder, create parameter, create module. Okay, X module. This option is not present under standard modules. Why? Because it is not being checked out. I have just clicked on checked out, just check out. That's why it is created checked out only project folder, root folder. So under this folder, you can create folders and all. You can create folders on it, but you cannot create anything under standard modules. And you should basically you shouldn't never touch standard modules. But if in case assuming you have different set of modules now, assume I'll give demo. This is demo, okay. And if I want to modify, I'll just check in all just to make sure to see into this. Okay, if I just right click on this and I click again checkout, it will just check out my module folder. But as I told you, I don't have control on any of the folders. I cannot do anything over here. To have control on this, you either click on checkout tree, or if you want to access demo folder, you just come over here and right click and click on checkout. As you do it, you will again see a green icon here, which basically means that you have the authorization to make an edit or modify anything over this folder. And then you right click and you can see the options over here. Got it? Any questions till now? Okay, so we'll move. So first thing, the first principle of creating a module, the first thing in TOSCA is once you create a folder, you may basically create a folder with your name, not know your name. Maybe assume this is a page. What page is this? This is demo workshop page. So for the best practice, what you should do is you should give demo workshop. Okay, I'll just give demo workshop for now. Okay, this is the more project folder name. The next thing is you can see the options of creating a folder. As I told you, I think we just saw here under module folder, you can have as many modules, n number of modules. Okay, you can have a number of folders as well. But under one folder, you can have a number of modules. Under modules, you can have a number of module attributes. Okay, so under this folder, we can right click and we can create X modules. Okay, but we are not creating this way. Okay, this is very generic. It is very difficult way. If you create here, then you have to write different properties. Don't even think about it. How do you create a module? You first, as I told you, the basic principle. There are three things as I told you, right? First is scanning, then module, and then test case. First thing is scanning. What you'll do is once you create a folder, right click on it. You can see option of scan, and there are different options over here. Okay, every options has a different meaning to it. Okay, application API. This application basically means to scan a GUI. Okay, it can be as a .NET window frames or browser or Java FX or SAP application, anything. You can use this option. Then second one is API. It is basically to scan the APIs, the endpoints, parameters, authentication details for that. Mobile understood yet? It's on Android or iOS application. You can use directly the hardware. You can connect the hardware to it, or you can use a third-party tool as an interface. After that, PDF scan, it's a new feature. I think it came in 2 or 3 uh, editions back, maybe from 2016 version. That's where you can scan a PDF also. Okay, which PDF scan is not done by any other automation, so it's very one of the different feature. Then something called remote terminate is basically to host or scan the Unix systems or PuTTY system. If you know heard of PuTTY application, which hosts the servers, which has the Unix system or Linux system, it is for those. Okay, and you can understand, right? There's a wide range of it basically covers all sort of applications. The application, it contains Salesforce, SAP, everything. Other than that, API, it is containing mobile, PDF, remote terminals. Okay, and then web drivers, Salesforce. There are so many different set of options we can do. Okay, see, as Salesforce, we can do normal using application also, but they have provided a new Salesforce scan, which is very specific to create Salesforce modules. Once we come to a Salesforce scan, Salesforce application, we'll explore this. Okay, and then okay, let's start one by one. File scan is basically to file scan your notepad files or JSON file, XML files. Okay, because XML and JSON files sometimes gets very complicated and it's very difficult to read that. In that case, we use this file scan to automate it. Okay, which makes your life very easy. Now first thing first, so it's an application here, it's a UI application. As I told you, to scan a UI application, just click on scan, and then you can see an option as application. You click on application and you will see a starting scan, which basically it will wait for some time and it will scan your application, whatever applications is running on your system. Okay, if you can see, there are these many applications running. Maybe I have some issues with my system, but basically these are the three systems. These are the applications. So this demo xup is open, there's new notepad is open for me, there's folder open, there's GoToMeeting open. Okay, these all the applications which are open in my system, but my focus is only this demo workshop Chrome, right? It should basically come at the first. Okay, but I'm not sure, for some reason it is not coming here. It should come at first. These three are blanks only. So the most recent used application, so I recently have used this Google Chrome, so it will come at the top or the first one. If you right click on it, you can see over here it says it's a HTML. You can see a tick mark over it. It's a HTML application, it is saying automatically. Okay, so Tosca has that intelligence to understand it's a HTML application. What you do is just you can double click on it or you can click on scan. Okay, I'll just double click on it. It will take some time. It will try to scan the application, whole set of application, and it will try to capture all the elements which we talked earlier, right? There are some different set of elements or controls, as I said. And if you want to explore more on this content or elements, click on this register. Okay, this register is specifically uh, controlling this register button over here. And how do I identify this? You can either click on this highlight section, which will basically show as red color, which means this element is pointing to this register. Okay, just click on highlight section again, it will go off. Anything, if there are, if you have, assuming as I think we saw this in the first demo session, there's something called queue over here. I might not understand what is queue here. I just click on highlight section, it will show you this is a text field here. Okay, the name is different, it should basically be search store, but they have written as queue, the developer has written mentioned it as queue, so we'll just keep it like this. Okay, now there are two ways to scan this. Once you have system open, it will show you all the applications over here. Let's understand more on this page what exactly is happening over here. There's something called condensed option. Condensed, basically it will minimize, it will shrink the whole X scan. If I click on it, it will show where exactly it has gone. It has gone on the right side. Okay, here. Okay, advanced and friends. If you click on advanced again, it will open the whole application again. So condensed is basically to have your application open already, and it will be condensed in a small form. Okay. Second one is basic. Earlier Tosca used to have this kind of control over here. Okay, but right now let's not focus on this. This is not important. Basic, advanced, just just have it like this. Basic, never switch to basic. It is very old way to do it. Have it in this form. Finish screen. Once you select all the elements which you want to have in your application, in your module, you click on finish screen, it will do finish the scanning. Highlight section, I think we just saw. If you click on particular element which you want to see where is book over here, I click on it, book item, and I click on highlight section. Okay, if you can see on the background there's something red color, maybe I'll just minimize this, and if you see there's a red icon over here which says it is being highlighted. So it doesn't mean you need to click on this checkbox. Even if you click somewhere else also, it will still show the red highlighted color. You just need to click on the particular element and it will show you where exactly these. There are so many books, right? If you see this book, this book, there's one more book below this. How do you identify the difference between these? So you can better use highlight section. Click on this books and it will show this is that book. This book corresponds to this, and this book corresponds to this. Okay, this is called highlight section. Then there is called select on screen. Select on screen. So I was telling you, right, there are two ways. One is once all the elements are loaded in your system, you can directly select over here. You can select like this. If I want to use first, one more thing, if once you assuming you want to select, first you want to see where exactly it is highlighting. If you select books and click on highlight section, okay, the best thing is before you select anything, turn this off, because if you don't turn this off, it will keep on popping. Okay, if I try to somewhere, go somewhere else, if I select somewhere here, okay, it will keep on popping like this. Okay, so it will become difficult. So if your highlight section is open, it is enabled, use highlight only when you want to, if you want to know where exactly my element is on the screen, only at that time. If I want to know where exactly jewelry is, just click on jewelry, see where exactly it is pointing over here. Just you understood, okay, I got my jewelry, click on highlight section and just get this off. use highlight section only when you want to know where exactly my element or content is on the screen. That's it. And then you can select element directly using these options. Click on register. Assume I want to use register. I want to save this register, this login and shopping cart and wish list under my module. You can select by this way. Okay, easy way. The other way is you directly use select on screen option. I'll maybe first disable this. Click on select on screen option. Once I click select on screen option, you will get an authority to scan this whole page again. Okay, now I'll use condensed option again just to make it smaller. Okay, just it'll go and hide it on the right side. Now I can go back and use register. I click on, you can see right, register is being popped up. Click on register, click on login. Okay, then click on wish list. Okay, why not coming? It is called again shopping cart. Okay, once all your scanning is done, click on advanced. Once you click on advanced, you will see automatically these elements are being scanned over here. Got it? So as I told you, there are two ways. Either is one is you can directly get all the elements scanned. If you want to do it manually, click on select on screen and then one by one select all the elements whichever you want to select for your application. If there are more features in this applications which is not visible on the screen right now, in this screen right now. And if you want to see more, there's an option called filter items here. Okay, if you want to click, when you keep expanding this filter, your if you see there would be changes on the screen. Okay, if you expand this more, there are so many options because there are these are hidden basically. There's a like these are called a family tree. Basically under div there is book, under this there's computer, under computer there's link. If you keep on expanding, this whole expansion will keep on going, but right now just keep it to 2 or 3 filter. That is more than enough for you to expand. Okay, if there are some items which you want particularly which is not visible on the screen, okay, maybe we don't have this application, maybe assuming under desktop there is some other options are there which you're not able to scan it using select screen, or from you cannot see it over here. In that case you can expand it more. Okay, then maybe you'll get the option, but for now we'll see the scenarios. Whenever we get this kind of scenario, we'll explore that option, but for now just focus on these two. You can either select from here one by one, or you can directly click on select on screen and it will automatically take you back to the application. You can click one by one and select the applications. Got it? Now comes the second important part. So once you selected these options, so if you remember, I told you right, there are 3 parts. We created a folder, module folder. Then what are we scanning? We are scanning a module. Under modules, what these options, right, this register, login, shopping cart, wish list, all these elements or controls, these are called module attributes. Okay, and what is module under this? This demo workshop which you see over here, this is called a module. Okay, if I click on this demo workshop, you can see it is being selected based on title. Title is nothing but whatever is there on the Chrome screen. Do you see demo web shop? This is my title. You can see it is selecting based on demo web shop. Okay, so when you scan an element or find a control, first and foremost thing is, in any application, any automation application, is to make sure that your element is unique or your control is unique. Okay, and how do you do that? Here in Tosca, you can see here the selected item is unique. It says it is unique. It is saying the demo web shop which you have selected is unique. It is unique based on this title. If I uncheck this title, okay, it is still unique because maybe we just have only one Chrome open. That's why it is able to find it. If you have two three websites, sorry, 2 3 launches open, Chrome tabs are open, then it might not be able to say it unique. Okay, I will show you how does a non-unique element looks like. For now, let's keep it as selected. Now come to register. Okay, now see, there are would be homework for you as well to understand what are these property. We identify element based on properties. Okay, there are 3 more options by which we can identify the element, but let's focus on the most critical one called properties. Okay, this is the priority one. First thing, you might be asked in interview, how do you scan element, based on what? So there are 4 ways, but first most is properties. Now today we'll focus only on properties. So properties have, if element can have these many properties, it's called representation property, technical property, transition property. Okay, Representational properties are those properties which basically give you a look and feel about it. Okay, the default name of this particular element is register. Okay, if it is steerable, means we can steer the element, it is true. If it is visible, okay, it is a look and feel of it is basically representation of the element. Now comes technical, it's more technical. Technical basically is id, class name, okay, and all those things, inner text and all. So you can see these are checked already because it is trying to Tosca, basically it will try to identify the element by its own. Okay, that's one. You don't have to, like in like in Selenium or in the application, you have to create your own XPath. Okay, that's a tedious job, but Tosca will not let you do that. It will automatically select the best element for this best property for this element. So Tosca has identified that inner text register and tag A is the best possible property for this register model attribute. Okay, this transition basically XPath. If not able to find any element unique using any property present in representation or technical or any other property, you can use XPath. Okay, you can write your own XPath over here. If someone asks you, do you need XPath in Tosca, people will think, yeah, XPath is only for Selenium or any other automation tool. Like you need to expand XPath for Playwright or Cypress and everything, but you need XPath. You can use XPath in Tosca as well, but that's very later stage. We don't need it right now because we would be able to find element unique based on this property itself, which is already present. Okay, so if you see over here, we are using inner text as register. Okay, so that's one field. If I remove this field, you will see as a yellow mark over here, and at the end bottom or corner, you can see the selected item is not unique, which means this element is not unique. Why it is not unique? Because right now you're taking only one property of tag equal to A. So with this tag equal to A, there might be lot many elements on the screen. If I come to this login element, you mean see tag A is present for login screen as well. For shopping cart also tag equal to A is there. So mean all the elements might be using tag equal to A. So if I, for this register element, if I use tag A, that is not right because there are so many tag element A. How would I identify that I'm using a register? Okay, it will not make it unique. How this whole application works is, where's my Chrome? So assuming this whole property, this whole division is under assume one tag called A. Okay, and if I'm trying to find this element using tag A, it will the Tosca will get confused, right? It will say, no, the tag A is used here as well, here as well, here as well. Maybe tag A is used here as well. This is not making this tag A is not making this element unique. I need some other property which says this is particular element or control is unique. Okay, so for that I can use tag A along with some other property. Okay, I can use inner text. If I use inner text, it you see the selected item is unique. In that case, we might not need tag A as well because I don't need tag A. I just know there's an inner text register, but there is no inner text. Inner text for other, maybe the inner text for this element is login. The inner text for this element is shopping cart. For this, it is wish list. So I don't need tag. I'll just try to find this element based on the inner text. I'll remove the tag A, and you will see this element is still unique. Got it? Any questions here? I can repeat this again. This is a critical one. No questions? Okay, so we are finding element unique using this technical property called register. You can use as many property as you want, whichever you want, which you feel. You can use class name, href, but Tosca will try to find the most unique element for you. Okay, it has find inner text as register for me. Okay, I can use default name as register. Okay, very easy. If I remove inner text, I use just default name. It says the element is unique. Got it? Similarly, login is also unique based on inner text or tag A. You can remove tag, or you can keep it there. Doesn't make, as long as uh, this message is popping on your screen, that is selected item is unique, which means you are good to go. Okay, just make sure whenever you select element at the end bottom screen after using all the properties, your element should say the selected item is unique. That's your focus. That's your goal. Done. We have selected these 4 items. Okay, now what you do? You will use click on save here. This is a save option. You can directly use Control S also, or you can use this option save. Once I click on it, you at the bottom you can see a module saves successfully. Okay, this module is saved. Now I'll close this. I'll close this whole scan. I'll come back to Tosca. So we were scanning under demo workshop. If you see, if you remember the icons which we talked about, just say again, we had only this folder earlier. I'll just delete it for now. Maybe I'll do undo for this after that. We had created demo workshop folder like this, like T-box automation tool. We created one folder. Now what we have created after scanning everything, when we once we saved it, we got this demo webshot. It's called as module. Okay, similarly, if you expand T-box, so maybe this, you can see this icons are pretty similar, right? T-box takes screenshot. This is same demo webshop. These two are basically called modules. If I expand T-box screenshot, these are the different icons which we talked about, right? This is called module attributes. Similarly, when I told you, right, the register, login, web shop, whatever was there, these are called module attributes, or these controls or elements are called module attributes. Now, if I expand this, you will see the same icons. Okay, it is not ever, but fine, that's fine because this is a different engine basically. But yeah, these are called module attributes. And how do you identify if it is a module attribute or not? If you click on this is business type HTML document, engine HTML, is a T-box module? True. These are called module attributes. Okay, maybe I cannot, we cannot reflect, but it is called module attribute. If once I will show you exactly how do you understand it is a module attribute. If you want to change something, it is called module. Just understand this. Everything which comes under module inside this. So if your module, if your parent level is module, and everything under child, every child under this is called module attributes. Okay, these are called module. And if on the right side on the screen, these are the properties of this of the particular attribute. So we chose default name register. Okay, for the login we chose inner text and tag. We kept the tag, right? Similarly for this, we just kept it the way it was. Okay, now what we'll do, this whole scan. And one more thing, on the screen you can see this image popped up. Okay, this is exactly the screen which we had scanned. Okay, so if in case you want to come back later on future, assume there is some changes on this in this page. Okay, assume the register icon has gone. Maybe they have changed the register to reg, just reg. Okay, in that case, how would you identify? You will see this element will become non-unique because the default name of register will be changed to reg. And to show your teammates or maybe a developer, you say that this property has been changed. And if they say how do you say that, then you can always capture this. You can use this screenshot and show them that this was the property at this particular date on created at 10/7. On 10/7 the property of this element had register on the screen, but now it is reg. So that's what it will give you image as well. So now we have module already scanned, and then you have these are called module attributes already scanned. Okay, so now if you properly see, there are different icons over here. Okay, and this is something like a pin icon, correct? These pin icons are basically called as links. Okay, these are called links. There are different set of items. If I scan this particular element, it is called text field. Okay, it will reflect differently. This will reflect differently, but this will reflect because this is a link. If a mouse over there, you can see underscore getting highlighted, right? You can see there's a pop-up also coming up. You have no items in your shopping cart. This is getting hide. These are all links, and these are text fields, and this is button. Okay, so these are called links. Similarly, slowly we'll get to know what are different uh, type of elements and how they look like. For now, we'll rescan this. Okay, we'll just rescan and see how the other elements look. We'll try to capture as many different elements we can. Okay, now the rescan is loading. So after the rescan, you will see the elements which we have already captured. You can see it is already being uh, disabled for me. I cannot select or disable because it is already being captured. So what I'll do is now I'll try to find a different set of elements. I'll use Q. This again we saw earlier highlight section which will highlight this, which means I'm using this text box. Okay, just focus on these element icons. That's why I told we shouldn't have highlight enabled. Okay, now you focus on these icons. This A, it's called text field. A and the I written there, right? It's called text field. I will expand for you. This is called text field. This is called button. To know more on this, you can see on the right side properties basically. Okay, if I click over here, and you can see over here what is the type of it. This is type is text. You can see, right? Type is text. And if I click on this, the early ones which you created, do we have type here? We don't have type here, but you might find any other property. I'll load all properties and try to find if I can show you link or something. Okay, maybe we don't have type property already defined here, but let me try to find if I can show you link somewhere. This pin, how do you identify this as a link? Okay, if you can see,
Where can we find that
you
like
can see here,
class
right?
like here whatever you say?
Yes, you can see here HTML link adapter. Okay, but usually the type will basically identify. It will type will basically show you that it's a link. For same for this button. Okay, type is a submit. Submit, what submit do? It's a button. You can use. You can see here, right? Class name as well present here, or you
Yes,
can use
button
adapter
adapter.
basic
Yes,
adapter basically. Okay,
button adapter. Yes.
yeah. Similarly, now this is what is this? You can see this O icon is called radio button. Okay, if you see over in adapter, it's called HTML radio button adapter. You can understand, and there's one more option over good. You can see here, right? It's called label. Click on it and you can see it's a label adapter. So just explore more on different type of elements or controls on the screen. Once you click on it, you can see over here. So similarly for the link, HTML link adapter. Okay, you can expand more and see more and more elements. Okay, these are called divisions, these are called spans, element adapter. Okay,
Drop down. Can I please show a drop down?
okay, drop down. Do we have a drop down here? Good one. Let me see if I have drop down in the screen. Okay, we don't have any drop down. Maybe I'll click on register. Okay, maybe on the next page I think we can see it. Let me complete the scanning. Okay, you got the crunch, right? What we are trying. I'll not save it. I'll close this and I'll leave this and I'll go. There is no drop down in this page as well. What happened? Okay, this is a call again radio button. I'll try to find out the it's a good one. We should have drop down as one of the most important field. Okay, here. Okay, maybe I'll just rescan this application, or I can create a new scan, or I'll do a rescan. Maybe I'll just create a new scan because it's a whole new set of section, right? I'll do on it and maybe we'll see how does the drop down looks like. You click, double click on the application. Scan the application. The first thing basically what should be coming on your screen should be your application, but right now I'm not sure why it's coming. Basically this is the demo workshop apparel page which we were checking. If I double click on it to again load everything, and let's find out the drop down position which we were find sort by. If you can see on the screen, you can either use select on screen option. Okay, I will click on this, it will automatically just reflect this one. Okay, this is named with product order by, or you can, if you don't want to use this, I think this is the best option. If you don't want to use this one, you can just, for now you can just uncheck this. It will show all the properties and you can search over here. If you know the name of the product, you can click on product order by. Okay, this is already being highlighted. If you see, it is showing product order by. If you can just use search also and you can find the product. Okay, now let's come to our goal. I'll maybe clear this search. I'll click on select. Okay, then clear the filter and just keep one product which we're looking, and same thing again, we'll come to adapter. It is called combo box. Okay, most important thing, we don't call it as drop box, we drop down, we call it as combo box. Okay, Okay, maybe I'll save this and we'll see the ID is product order by. That's more than enough. ID is more than enough. I'll remove tag and I'll save it. There's something which I will show you on this. Okay, so for this module, again, same thing, right? These are called module attribute. Again, these are called module attributes. This is the drop down. If you see, there's something called value range. The best thing, one of the good thing about TOSCA is this value range is basically all the values which are there in the drop down. Whatever values which are there in this drop down, right? These all values are getting saved automatically. You don't need to save one by one. This value range is automatically saves all this number. If you see, these are separated by a semicolon. Name A to Z. Okay, then name Z to A. If I use this in test case, okay, maybe I'll show you how to use in a test case rather than just not just this is for just test purpose. Okay, just to show the capability of Tosca. Tosca test cases we'll see. I'll just drag and drop this. Okay, in one test. Okay, this is my test. If I click on this value, right? What would you think? I mean, what should I do? I'll first assume I want to use name A to Z. You will come back here and write name A to Z, right? Name A to Z. But that's the best thing is you just click on here, drop down. It will show you all the exact options which is present on the screen, similar to what is there on the screen, right? It's just the replica of it. Even though we didn't click on it, we didn't click on any drop down, but it will automatically scan and save all the values. And how it does it? How does it do it? It is based on the I'll just see we were talking about earlier, right? How do you say it is a model attribute? If you right click on it, it will ask you jump to module. If you right click on it, it will say you jump to model attribute and jump to model attribute. And I see it is based on this value range. Wherever value ranges are there, it means this particular attribute can accommodate these many values. These many values. Okay, these are all separated by a semicolon.
This conference will now be recorded.
It will click on jump to model attribute here. These are called jump to model attribute. Good. I think my videos already being stopped over, but
This conference will
fine.
now be
Any
recorded.
questions on this till now for this all this session, whatever we saw? Let's take questions now.
Arjun, so module in the sense here, like whatever we are scanning, so all comes under the module. So when we are trying to build the test case, so we are drag and dropping down into the test case.
Right.
The values whichever is available. So while capturing the object, so if it's having any data, so all the data it will get
Exactly.
populated here, so that we can select here.
Anything which you want. Exactly. Exactly. This
Text
is
box. You mean to
text
say
box
here we
also.
are passing the data?
Database. As it is a drop down, we are getting value automatically. But if it is a text field, you will not get this option, right? Because text field will not have any value.
Yes.
In text field, you have
Yes.
to write your value on your own. You have to write it. Maybe I didn't scan that part. I think a text field would
Uh,
look. Go ahead.
Here, if we add, I mean, column means like description. Whatever we are inputting there, it shows like we are inputting the following value like that in the description. It will come.
It will come exactly right. Maybe I'll just select a text box or a text field also for you. A text field and a button also. Okay, this is a text field. This is a button. I hope these are unique. You can see these are unique. I'll just mention text field. Okay, and I save it. Okay, so if you saw, I didn't do a new rescan. It was just the existing scan which I just did. Right click and rescan it. Okay, so what will happen now? I just rescan it. Okay, so these two new fields got added. Okay, so now you can see here as well the created at time also. Okay, at what time it got created. It will be different from this one. Now the best thing is if you go to test cases, these changes will reflect automatically. I didn't drag and drop again and again. If you do changes on the existing model, it will automatically reflect the change. Okay. Text field, you can either right click, double click, whatever you can do, or you can normally enter the value. If I want to enter uh, like books, just click on books. Okay. So now let's see if it enter the value books there. Okay, our focus is on the control field. Might take some time because it's a new setup. Taking a little longer. Okay, you saw right. Maybe once you start automating this, I think the speed will automatically, because the cache issues. If you see, it automatically enters the book. So whatever value you enter over here in this text field, it will enter over there. You can add anything. You can write. We'll explore more on this portal. You can enter. So right now we just entered a very static value. You can enter this value from a test TCD, test case design. You can have a static data from Excel. You can put data from Excel also. You can put from database also. You can use any functions also. There are a lot of options of and entering random functions. Okay, if you see, this is called a function. I can see RND, which is random number. If I use this random number, you can see it's an option. It says use RND and then number of digits. If I just don't worry about this. We'll explore this. If I just do a random number and it said right, give any digit. I write 5, means I'm trying to enter a 5-digit number over here. Done. Right click and run this. Okay, just remove this. I think it is taking 10 seconds, which should be, it is very longer, but shouldn't take that much time. But in some time, it will enter a 5-digit number in it. Okay, you saw it's a 5-digit number. 12850 is a 5-digit number entered by it. Okay, so text field does that work. So you need to understand what exactly the functionality of each attribute is. I mean, each control is. Text field is just to enter values. It's a button, right? We saw earlier this model attribute is a button. What we do in button, which is click on button basically. So we'll get option of click here. It will automatically up. You can directly write by yourself, okay, or it will automatically come as a click. This is the syntax of it. Curly braces click. If you don't want to write it, just click on here and you can see a drop down of click. Okay, and we will explore more on action mode. This is also important. For now, we just wanted to explore more on modules. We just saw very basic module scanning. We'll explore more on modules and then we move to test cases. Any questions on the same front, on the same thing?
Arjun, like going forward, it will be
Hmm?
like practical come
Yeah.
theory
No,
class, or
it would be practical. I don't want that approach wherein I just do everything. From tomorrow, maybe tomorrow onwards, the real class would start. I hope, I presume, where first thing we will try to install this whole, we'll install this whole Tosca in your systems. We'll get the license procured, and then we will do side by side. I'll do, it might take time, no matter how long it takes. It may take 30, 35, 40 classes. We'll make sure you do it on your own, because whatever I do over here, you should also do it. Until you get hands on it, it is not possible. I don't want to just show you on the screen and then it is not easy, right? How you cannot come back to videos every time and then learn it. It's good to have Tosca in your system, and then you practice your application. If you're working somewhere, you can automate your applications by your side, or whatever. If you want to, you can explore Mintra application. Practo is a very good application, which is everyone say that very good for automation. You can use that as a tool for your automation. Okay, so our focus is we will try to install Tosca in your system, get the license procured for you, and then you can start doing by yourself.
in the day-to-day
Like,
class
can you
only you
please
will
like
give.
include?
Sorry?
Sorry,
Yes,
so
sir.
I was asking, like in the day-to-day class only you will give time for the practice, or after the
Ha ha.
class you will do some exercises.
No. We will do both way. Okay. At least for few classes, at least you understand the basics of it. First few days we will understand. Will you guys do it, and then I'll give you a task to automate or scan it. If you get issues on it, then we will see on the next class. Okay. I'm totally open for long hour classes, and if it extends the whole course also extend, I'm totally fine with it. But because if you're learning from scratch, I know it will take some time. It is not 1 month or 30 days job to complete whole task. So it's fine for me to extend also. Okay. So our would be, we will do side by side. I'll maybe some of you, one of you can share your screen, or I'll share. You can just copy whatever I'm doing. After that, someone can share your screen and do it. Okay, based on the number of people joins this, based on that we'll do it.
Arjun, can you please include S4 as well here in the automation?
Sorry.
So you are automating a sample web page, right?
Right.
I mean demo workshop web page.
Mm-hmm.
So can you please automate S4 as well?
S4, you mean S4 GUI?
Not Geo. Web.
S web, Fury, yeah, Fury will definitely do it.
Here,
That
here.
is Fury will do it. That is my sure. S4, I think GUI we cannot do it because of licensing, but I'll try to explore and see if how my friends are doing it. If they are also going with Fury, will definitely Fury is my plan. But GUI I also try to accommodate because GUI is also important. If not GUI, Fury is for sure we're going to do it. But for now, the practical application will remain same. Okay, the scanning and all. I just wanted to
Okay.
make sure that how the concept works. Okay, and then slowly once we understand this application, then we'll move to complex application like Salesforce or Fury and all those things. Okay. Okay.
Sure, Arjun.
Fine. Any other questions? Maybe I can stop the recording in that case.